Every tragedy begins with silence. A silence that follows the sudden shattering of ordinary life. On August 27, 2025, that silence fell over Minneapolis. In a Catholic school, where the air should have been filled with laughter, lessons, and the sounds of children at play, gunfire erupted. And in an instant, innocence was stolen. 2 children. Just 8 and 10 years old. 2 lives filled with possibility. 2 futures that should have stretched decades ahead. They will never graduate, never chase their dreams, never see adulthood. 17 others were wounded, parents, teachers, parishioners, children, even the elderly. Each of them carries scars, some visible, some invisible, that will mark them forever. And as we speak their story, we remember, these were not numbers, not headlines, not statistics. They were human. They were loved. When I picture them, I don't see just victims, I see dreams interrupted. I see classrooms that will forever feel a little emptier. I see parents staring at empty chairs at the dinner table. I see siblings who will never again hear the laughter of their brother or sister echoing down the hall. Tragedy has a way of stripping away illusions. It reminds us that life is fragile, that love is precious, and that tomorrow is never promised. But here's the truth, when tragedy takes, it also leaves us with a choice. A choice about how we will remember, how we will respond, and how we will carry forward the lives that were lost. In this moment, we choose not to let them be forgotten. Their names deserve to echo louder than the violence that silenced them. Their light deserves to outshine the darkness. Their dreams, though cut short, deserve to live on through us. After the shooting, Minneapolis did what communities do in their most painful hours, they gathered. Hundreds stood in candlelight vigils, holding one another through tears. Strangers became neighbors, neighbors became family. A teacher, still shaking from the chaos, spoke to reporters with trembling words, "We will not let this define who we are. We will rise for the children." A mother who had lost her son said through her grief, "If his short life can bring people together, then let that be his gift." And she was right. Compassion is the one force that tragedy cannot kill. We've seen it before. After Sandy Hook. After Parkland. After Uvalde. Each time, communities broke, but they also rebuilt. Each time, grief brought division, but compassion brought people back together. History tells us that compassion is not weakness, it is strength. In 1963, when 4 little girls were killed in a Birmingham church bombing, their community rose not with violence, but with marches, songs, and the unyielding demand for justice. Their memory fueled the civil rights movement, changing America forever. In 1995, when Oklahoma City was ripped apart by an act of terror, thousands lined up to donate blood, food, and resources. Compassion turned a scene of devastation into a story of resilience. And today, Minneapolis stands at the same crossroads. We can allow this tragedy to divide us, or we can allow it to unite us. Compassion is not passive, it's active. It's a father volunteering at a community center. It's a teenager starting an anti-violence club at school. It's a church opening its doors not just for prayer, but for action. Compassion is love with legs. And if we choose it, tragedy cannot win. Now comes the hardest part, what do we do next? Hope is not just an emotion. It is a decision. To hope in the face of grief is to say, this is not the end. We will build something better. Change begins when hope takes action. And action must begin with us. We must demand safer schools, not just through security, but through building communities where children feel seen, heard, and valued. Studies show that students who feel connected are less likely to experience or commit violence. Connection saves lives. We must support families, not only in the aftermath of tragedy, but in the quiet struggles that often go unseen. Every parent needs resources, every child needs opportunities, every neighborhood needs hope. We must call upon leaders, not with division, but with persistence. Real solutions require courage, and courage requires citizens who refuse to stay silent. But beyond policies and programs, we need something deeper, a cultural change. A shift toward valuing life, cherishing community, and rejecting violence as normal. Think of what could happen if each of us made compassion a daily choice. If every act of kindness became a seed of healing. If every conversation about violence turned into a plan for peace. That is how change happens, not overnight, not in one sweeping reform, but in thousands of small actions, multiplied by millions of people, fueled by hope. The children lost in Minneapolis deserve to grow up in that kind of world. We cannot give it to them now, but we can give it to the children who remain. And that is how we honor their memory. So here is our charge. Honor the lost. Speak their names, carry their light. Stand together in compassion. Let love be louder than fear. Choose hope and build change. Refuse to let tragedy be the final word. The world will try to move on. Headlines will fade. Attention will shift. But we must not forget. We must not go back to sleep. Because every time we say, never again, we are writing a promise not only to the dead, but to the living. And promises demand action. My friends, the children we lost are not here to dream, but we are. They are not here to act, but we are. They are not here to build a better tomorrow, but we are. So let us rise. Let us choose compassion. Let us carry hope. And let us ensure that darkness does not win. Thank you. And if this message resonated with you, if you believe the world needs more words of healing, unity, and courage, please, subscribe and like. Not for numbers, not for applause, but so that hope can spread louder than fear, and light can spread farther than darkness.